So it's my great pleasure to open this international symposium on Western Sahara. I welcome all of you this afternoon and good morning to the American friends. In the spirit of solidarity, we have organized this international symposium on Western Sahara, and we are very happy that you all accepted our invitation to share your knowledge, your experience, and bring us up to date in this long-lasting, horrible problem. The symposium provides a good opportunity to exchange views, aims, and visions, and also should give us some encouragement after so many decades to stand against this crime of occupation and the oppression of the Sahrawian people. We all are along with them and will not accept that the last colony in Africa can't get their freedom. At the end of this symposium, we work on a book so that we can bring all the knowledge now in the next 4 hours also to the public. It's planned in German language, so also interesting in Switzerland and Austria. We are thankful to those who have made it possible that we could organize this symposium. It's the German government, it is the Bremen government, and the Bremen Parliament. They share the costs of this, and we are happy that they show also their support for our work as an NGO, and we are very happy that parliamentarians from many countries and also the European Parliament supports our work, and Andrea Schieder, the new chairman of the Western Sahara Intergroup in the European Parliament, is with us in the afternoon session. We are also happy that the German Bundestag has a small intergroup with all fractions except the right-wing party and supports our work. We will come to that later. It is my pleasure to invite our patron, Mrs. Antje Grother, Vice President of the Bremen State Parliament, to take the floor and to speak about the former patron of this NGO, the advisory board, which has helped us a lot. And I'm happy that Antje Grother took over and is now giving some remembering words to Christian Weber.
Thank you, Gunther, very much for the very friendly introduction of myself. As the Vice President of the Bremen State Parliament, which is called Bremische Bürgerschaft, I will come to that later again, therefore I explain it, and patroness of the advisory board of the NGO Freedom for the Western Sahara, I would like to thank you for the invitation to be here at the beginning of this international symposium. I'm sorry, I just lost or the international symposium for the freedom of the Western Sahara. I would like to commemorate someone very special to us, very dear, the late president of the Bremische Bürgerschaft, Christian Weber. He was my predecessor as a patron of the advisory board of the NGO. Bremen has shown its solidarity with the refugees from the Sahrawis in the camps near Tindouf since the occupation of the Western Sahara by Morocco. We are politically linked to the victims of this violence through our commitment to their right of self-determination. The former president of the Polisario, Abdel Aziz, was a guest of the Bremen government and the Bremische Bürgerschaft for several times. The founders of the 2012 established NGO Freedom for the Western Sahara issue since Professor Manfred Hinz and Gunter Hilliges are committed to the Western Sahara issue since 1977 and invited President Weber in 2012 to become the patron of the advisory board. He was happy to engage himself because he supported the concept of the NGO to get in touch with political decision makers in Berlin, Strasbourg, and Brussels, and the UN, with commitment expertise. As the patron of the advisory board, he supported numerous political initiatives by the NGO. I want just to remind you of the most important ones here. On the 40th anniversary of the DARS, he initiated a resolution on the right of the Sahrawi people to self-determination by means of a referendum and on the condemnation of the occupation of Western Sahara by Morocco. Without a dissenting vote, our state parliament decided to hold a festive event and hoist the DARS flag at the house of the Bremische Bürgerschaft up until now. Christian Weber welcomed for the Southern African Development Community states Andreas Gibeb, the Namibian ambassador, and Mohammed Kadat, the representative of the Polisario at the United Nations in New York, as keynote speakers. During this time, the discussion of the EU's trade and fisheries agreement with Morocco was on the agenda in the European Parliament. Christian Weber wrote a letter to all German members of the European Parliament to prevent the continuation of the treaties, as they included Western Sahara as part of Morocco. Unfortunately, a large minority in the EP was defeated later. Later, however, two judgments of the European Court of Justice followed with the same content and forced the European Commission to make changes, which were not enough and prompted the Polisario to revise it. The third ECJ's decision is expected for July of this year. Christian Weber invited his colleagues, the Sahrawi President Kadri Adou, to Bremen in 2018. President Adou attended the state ceremony for the late Christian Weber in February 2020. He then invited a delegation of parliamentarians to visit the refugee camps near Tindouf. During this visit, our Sahrawi friends want to inaugurate a memorial stone for Christian Weber, together with the Bremen delegation. This visit has been postponed due to Corona and can hopefully take place soon. The board of the Bremische Bürgerschaft, meanwhile, decided to continue supporting the association by entrusting me with the patronage. This is by no means a natural matter, because patronage is a person-related function. Before I wish you and us now an interesting and exciting afternoon, I am delighted to welcome a colleague from the German Bundestag and to give him the opportunity to speak a few words to us. Frank Heinrich is a member of the advisory board of the Freedom Association for Western Sahara, as we call our society, and together with other members of the German Bundestag is committed to the interests of the Sahrawi people. Thank you for your attention, and dear Mr. Heinrich, you have now the floor.
Thank you very much, dear colleague Groter. Thank you everybody for joining for our common issue. I have to say, I look now at least 10 years back when I hear, and greetings to Mr. Hilliges and Mr. Hinz as well, how long you have fought for this issue already. The 10 or 11 years that I do are just a small part. But we are not doing this just for the reason of doing something social or in an issue. We really want to change that, what you in this Congress are looking for in this afternoon and evening and in the morning in the United States. So from our intergroup in the Parliament, greetings. We wish us success. So if I look back in 10 years, then I wish that I talk about 5 years ago, this has changed. I really want to look from both sides. I still smell from our visit as several members of parliament when we visited the region, Morocco, the territories, and the camps in southern Algeria. And since then, there is a sting in me to change as best as possible. We had a quite good discussion in Parliament this week, where some of us have been speaking, and we really want that to go on. And we need to eradicate that injustice that is still on that continent of Africa, and we need to link civil society and parliamentarians to get that freedom for the Western Sahara, as the title of this NGO is. I wish you best. I wish us best. And maybe let's celebrate in 10 years, 5 years of having solved the problem. Best to everybody. I cannot be very long in here, but I will have everything on my list. Thank you very much.
We thank you, Mr. Heinrich. That is a wonderful surprise that also the so-called intergroup from the German Bundestag is with us. And this encouragement to celebrate freedom for Western Sahara in 5 years' time is a wonderful aim. We will work hard on that, and we enjoy your encouragement in the German Bundestag in all fractions. Thanks a lot. I now invite Najat Hamdi. She represents the Polisario in Germany, in Berlin. And I also want, before she takes the floor, to give you warmest regards from Mamoun Brahim. He is now representative in Vienna. We had a word on phone yesterday, and he asked me how he can link with this symposium. And he was Polisario representative for many years in Germany. He has studied in Bremen and is now representative in Austria. And he spoke about Andreas Schieder, the new speaker of the Western Sahara Intergroup from the European Parliament. And he is happy that in the afternoon he is with us. So best regards from Mamoun Brahim to all the participants of this symposium. Najat, please take the floor.
Thank you very much, dear Gunther. Dear friends, I'm delighted to be amongst a group of friends and comrades today. Friends who have accompanied us in our legitimate struggle for freedom and independence. Christian Weber was one of them. I'm incredibly grateful to be given this opportunity by Freiheit for the Westsahara to open this conference, which I sincerely thank you for organizing. Dear guests, isn't colonialism supposed to be over? Didn't humanity pledge to never again allow this shameful capture? Not yet. Western Sahara has yet to undergo decolonialization. Over the past 4 decades, the Sahrawi people have made many great sacrifices to achieve independence and finally end the era of colonialization of the African continent. Sahrawi have waited patiently for an empty promise, the promise of the international community to organize a referendum on self-determination and independence. In good faith, the Sahrawi believed that the United Nations would implement a peace plan and the Security Council would not evade the people's warning for freedom. The Sahrawi trusted the United Nations to support the mission and reinforce international law and resolutions in Western Sahara, and not let the region go in flames and destruction. Regrettably, on November 13, 2020, the Sahrawi people were forced to defend themselves. Yet again, Moroccan well-armed military violated the ceasefire many times and used brutal acts against Sahrawi civilians activists. These peaceful struggling demonstrators attempt to stop the plundering of Western Sahara's resources through the illegal breach in Gargarat. I must stress that the escalation caused by Moroccan regime serves neither security nor stability in our region, which faces significant safety and economic challenges. Therefore, your support for Sahrawi is essential, now more than ever. Lastly, I wish you constructive and fruitful discussion at today's symposium. Thank you, everyone, for your continued collaboration and solidarity during this journey for freedom, liberation, and right to exist. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Najat. We all admire the patience of the Sahrawian people, the peacefulness of their struggle, the belief in the United Nations and the international law construction, and we share your worry about your future, and we are grateful to have you with us, not only this day, but also in all the years of work with the NGO Freedom for Western Sahara. We need your guidance, your information, and your network behind you, which helps us to always be up to date and understand the problem.
Thank you.
The network of NGOs in Europe are together since decades in the Oikoko. We are very happy that Pierre Galland, the president of Oikoko, has accepted our invitation to give a short remark on this inauguration function. Pierre, welcome to Germany. It's your floor.
Thank you, Günther. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I am very happy to be with you today during this symposium, Western Sahara, between colonialism, imperialism, and self-determination. And I would like to bring to you and to the Assembly of Bremen the greetings of the Oikoko and the task force. It's still more than 45 years that we are working in solidarity with the fundamental rights of the Sahrawi people. And you, even today, take place for me as a contribution to the very large international movement of solidarity with the struggle of the Sahrawi people for the respect of their inalienable rights of self-determination, for decolonization, and for their independence. And I would like to remember to the Assembly some points, very short. First is the recognition obtained by the vote in the 60s in the UN General Assembly for this historical vote on the right for all the people around the world for self-determination. Resolution 1514/15. And to remember that in 74, the opinion of the International Court of Justice given to the UN, stating that Western Sahara is not part of Morocco. And the Republic Arab Sahrawi Democratic, was recognized by the Organization of the African Union as a full member in 74. And the Frente Polisario has been recognized by the UN as the only representative of the people of Western Sahara since 1979, UN General Assembly Resolution 3435 from 79. Today, the exile of 250,000 of Sahrawi people since 75, and the majority of them found refuge in the refugees camp in Tindouf region in Algeria, thanks to the Algerian people. And I will conclude saying that more than 50 years that the highly and the highest international political and legal authorities have confirmed the inalienable right of the Sahrawi people to self-determination and independence. Today, Morocco persists in occupying and plundering Western Sahara with the complicity of European member states, Spain and France in particular. It is time and urgent that the UN and the Security Council today accept the legitimate request of the Sahrawi people. The only way for a just and lasting peace and guarantee of security and cooperation for all the people of the region. I wish you a very successful symposium. Vive la solidarité internationale. Vive le courageux peuple sahraoui et le Front Polisario. J'ai dit.
Many thanks, Pierre, for these encouraging words. And in particular, I liked that you have mentioned Algeria. We never hear about their support since 75, with water, with energy, with transport and support. Without any interruption, the refugees could not survive without their support. The rest is done by hundreds of NGOs around the globe. But this constant support of a state like Saarland, that is a small state in Germany, that is the size of these refugee camps where these people survive since so long and expect now another summer with 50 to 60 degrees. Mamoun, by the way, will leave us Vienna in June to be the director of Rabuni back in the camps. That he told me. Thanks a lot. And before I hand over to the first panel, it is my desire to thank the working group who has prepared this international symposium and the excellent coordination work of Jutka or Judith, both names are correct, Tavakoli. She has done that in the last month. Even at night, I have received mails and adjustments to the program. And I thank you for your patience and your hard work, and always with a smile. Thanks a lot. I hand over now to the next moderator of the first working group.
Yes,